Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today on the Battle for Azeroth Beta, I'm going to be showing you the PvP talents for Death Knights, and after the intro, we're going to be taking a look at War Mode World PvP, and I'm going to be giving my opinion on it, and my input on how I think it needs to be done, or at least how it should be done to make it successful for everybody involved. So let's go ahead and jump into these honor talents. To give a quick summary of what's going on with the PvP talents in Battle for Azeroth, we have 4 slots total. The top one's designated to your PvP trinket, relentless, or adaption, determining which one you want to use. As for the bottom 3 talents, they are the basic talents from Legion, I'd have to say. But the nice thing is you get to choose the 3 that you want. You're not forced to choose specific abilities in different categories. So myself, I picked for the top one Necrotic Strike, and bottom one Necrotic Arroyo, and the very bottom is Decomposing Arroyo. So I'm taking away percentage of their health while I'm increasing my magic damage, and I'm able to stack Necrotic Strike if they want to heal. I think that's a fairly good, offensive build. We could take Anti-Magic Zone and things like that for more defensive play. But overall, I do like this change. I do find it pretty cool that we're able to customize what we want to do in PvP a little bit more. But as for talents, I'll go ahead and quickly run over them for Unholy real quick. We got Wandering Blade, Pandemic, Crypt Fever, Dark Simulacrum, Anti-Magic Zone, Heartstop Arroyo, Necrotic Strike, Unholy Mutation, Reanimation, and Cadaverous Pallor. I don't know why, but I want to say Cadaverous Pillar. I think that may be a Frost thing, but let's go ahead and take a look at Frost PvP talents. The same rules that applied for Unholy also apply to Frost in terms of, the Medallion Trinket, and of course the bottom abilities that are basically the same as Legion. Doesn't really need too many explaining, but we got Necrotic Arroyo, we got Decomposing Arroyo, we got Delirium, we got Frozen Center, we got Overpowered Rune Weapon, which I don't like the fact that it only reduces by 60 seconds. I believe it made it a 1-minute cooldown previously, which kind of angers me that they nerfed that down. Why'd you guys do that? I like that ability. It made it quite fun. We also got Chill Streak, Anti-Magic Zone, Heartstop Arroyo, Dark Simulacrum, Cadaverous Pallor, Death Chill, and Tundra Stalkers. You see I was using Death Chill to try to hold my target still a little bit, and I was running some Tundra Stalker to try and deal a little bit more melee damage, and of course Necrotic Arroyo. But there are a few there I would definitely switch out in certain situations to do either more DPS or a little bit more survivability. Taking a look at these blood talents, the trinket section is obviously still the same, but as for talents, we got Unholy Command, Death Grip is 2 charges, Walking Dead, we got Strangulate, which Strangulate's nice to have, I'm not gonna lie. I wish a little bit of Frost had some Strangulate. We got Blood for Blood, sacrifices 15% of your total health to increase the damage done by your Heart Strike by 60% for 12 seconds. Fairly interesting. And of course we got Death Chain. I do love me some Death Chain, I'm not gonna lie there. It was some pretty crazy AoE as far as blood goes. We also got Murderous Intent, which this one's fairly interesting. Intimidates the targets, increasing their damage taken by 3% for 6 seconds. Each unique player that attacks the target increases the damage taken by an additional 3%, stacking up to 5 times. So it could reach 15% on a target if they have enough targets hitting them in world PvP situations. It's like blood just really buffs everybody around them inside world PvP, because if you're running like Murderous Intent plus Death Chain, you could really get off some crazy AoE combos if you're PvPing, at least in team fights. And if you throw down Death and Decay and start spamming a Blood for Blood Heart Strikes with 60% damage increase, that would be some pretty nutty AoE, and of course damage come from multiple targets while it's spreading to the other targets. That would just, I don't even know how that would end up. That just sounds like it'll end up being crazy. We also got Anti-Magic Zone, Necrotic Arroyo, Heartstop Arroyo, Decomposing Arroyo, and Dark Simulacrum. Blood looks like they have some okay talents. I don't remember if some of those were on live, but I don't think they were. They sound kind of new, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into some of this PvP. But it's alright, 'cause right now we're frozen. I wanna forget mistakes that helped me make. It's better to be broken than to break.
crime. I'm out of time. I am a criminal without a crime. I am a genius without a mind. Always a reason, but there's never a rhyme. How could I know where I'm going when I'm lost in time? I'm out of time. I'm out of time. Yeah, when I'm lost in 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 time.
So to sum up the big question, is war mode fun? And for a max level that's going around ganking people, it is hilarious. I mean, obviously you're thinking, yeah, a 120 gank and a 110 probably wouldn't be too hard. But don't get me wrong. If you fight two 110s that know what they're doing, they will kill a 120 in PvP, especially if they got guards helping them, because those guards hit really, really hard. So you really don't want to mess with those guards too much, but as for 110s killing a 120, it is very possible. I'd say the worst thing that I come across is coming up against classes with immunities that are low levels, because even though they don't have large amounts of health pools, they still do an insane amount of DPS, and they can still kill you within those timers. Let's say you're fighting a Ret Paladin, or you're fighting a Hunter that has immunity shields, and you end up getting close to killing them. They throw up that immunity shield, and there's someone DPSing on you from behind that's 110. That is a huge problem for 120. Now in a 1v toe-to-toe fight, a 120 definitely has the advantage for the larger health pool, but in terms of damage, I'd say an undergeared 120 could potentially lose a fight to a good 110 inside of world PvP content. And it's gonna be crazy to see a lot of people making videos about stuff like that. I can imagine a good hunter that knows what he's doing versus an average player is definitely gonna be interesting to see 110s being able to take out, you know, a higher level player. And then they just record that kind of like I do and post it on the internet, and it's gonna be really cool to see. We're gonna be able to see just like a plethora of potential montages and PvP content that's going to be uploaded to YouTube. As long as it's done correctly and people are enjoying it, this could help the game all around, because we needed world PvP. World PvP needed to be done right. And obviously with Battle for Azeroth, the damage right now needs to be balanced a lot, and that's going to be coming in the near future, so you can't quite base it off of a lot of the damage that's being pumped out. But overall, I'd say it's fairly balanced for low levels fighting high level players in terms like that, because for the most part you won't see level 115s fighting a level 115s, because the people that are going to be venturing over to the new continents are generally going to be max level players, and they're going to be coming across a lot of low level players. So it's a good thing to see that a max level player can't run through and kill, you know, 10 undergeared players without any problem at all. 3 of them are gonna most likely kill a 120 even without like an immunity shield or something like that. But if the 120 can string him out, use survival mechanics, he can definitely take more than one if he's good about using cooldowns and knows his abilities. So I did have quite a bit of fun PvPing out there, trying to kill all these lobby characters, trying to kill all the 120s that were out there, and of course the guards just beat the ever-living crud out of me because I was ganking the Alliance main city, and I knew there would be an abundance amount of players there to gank. I didn't want to run around out in the wild for very long, and now if I was doing, let's say, world quests out in the world, of course with war mode on, it would be a lot different. And of course in live servers, when there's a lot more players, if we're phased over to PvP servers, there's going to be a ton of players everywhere, so there's going to be a lot of consistent PvP. Now my main concerns with war mode is going to be doing it right, because when it comes to terms of leveling up from, let's say, 110 to 120, if you have somebody that likes playing a rogue that's able to go from 1 to max level in 10 to 16 hours fairly fast, a lot faster than the other players, and their sole intention after hitting max level is camping lobbies that are trying to level. If a rogue is overall stronger than most classes in 1v1 situations, which they currently are, like a rogue is still fairly, I wouldn't say fairly, I'd say exceedingly strong in the 1v1 category, and able to DPS someone down, re-stealth, full heal back up, and open up back on them again over and over again without, you know, you being able to land a blow because you don't have that much self-survivability. Things along those lines are going to make it unenjoyable for a lot of players. Because we know we're PvPers. There's going to be a lot of ganking going on. Let's not lie. There's going to be a lot of, I see that character over there. I mean, he's a lobby. I probably shouldn't. And then you end up one-shotting them anyways. Not one-shotting them because they're not that weak. But you get what I'm saying. It needs to be balanced correctly. If things are just too out of hand, some classes are way too strong in world PvP, such as tanks or even healers at times. It's going to be very unfun for a lot of classes. I mean, you can imagine as a Frost DK, you can easily easily get ganked by, let's say, a disc priest. And if you come up against a disc priest that you can't kill and he just decides to stand on the quest giver or something like that, it's really not going to end up being very fun for you. And also leveling with PvP mode on later on in this expansion could be fairly frustrating, but we do have the choice to turn it on and off when we want to, I guess, even if we're being camped a lot. So we do have that decision to make if things like that start occurring, but we do get better rewards and we do get a lot more 15% XP for having this on. So there is a reason to PvP, and you get an incentive for being within that giant war in the Horde versus the Alliance. And I'm pretty excited to see maybe that conflict start flaring up within the community again, you know, Alliance wanting to destroy the Horde and vice versa. I'm going to start saying bad things about Alliance players in my PvP videos, you know, not really pointing at anyone in particular, but just to flare up the Alliance so we get some more PvP action. Who knows? But I'm excited to see if that actually starts to bring that back forth. So to quickly sum up this video, yes, war mode is amazing. I can't wait to actually do it on live. I can't wait until there's more players doing it. And I can't wait till I can join up with a group with a lot of people and go ahead and attack main cities and have them fight us back, because they were definitely swarming. People were looking for PvP. Everyone in the video was flagged for PvP. They were in war mode and they know that they're there in PvP mode. So if you're AFK or something, that's tough luck. You're in war mode. You should have known better. You shouldn't have flagged yourself, and you shouldn't have phased over to the PvP server, because this is for PvPers. Get your Care Bear self out of the PvPers. There I go, I'm already starting it. Alliance, I gotta tell you guys, you were lacking over there. You need more PvP potential. I'm telling you, Alliance, you were slacking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like on it if you did, and until next time, this was your boy Hazzed.